Hey everyone, welcome back. For this explainer, we're jumping right back into the absolute chaos of session 22. I was mermaided for this. So last time, we left our parties settling into the highly luxurious Blushing Mermaid Inn over in Waterdeep. But as they found out real quick, peace and quiet, yeah, not exactly on the itinerary. We've got a ton of ground to cover today, from creepy hidden passages to literal high society secrets. So let's just get right into it. I mean, it's the classic adventurer's dilemma, isn't it? What happens when your ultra-fancy luxury hotel turns out to be a front for smugglers and spies? We are going to peel back the layers of this particular onion today, because what starts off as just this weird, localized mystery at an inn, it rapidly blows up into a massive, city-wide conspiracy involving underground syndicates, political terrorism, and legendary figures literally just hiding in plain sight.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Secrets of the Mermaid. What lies beneath the surface?
So the evening at the inn is winding down, right? And Talia decides to take a quick dip in the Blushing Mermaid's famous heated pool. Well, while she's swimming down near the bottom, she spots these hidden underwater channels carved right into the walls. And she literally watches as one of the mermaid servers swims down into these channels, swaps an identical-looking bag with some shadowy figure lurking deep in the cavernous tunnels below, and then just pops back up to work like absolutely nothing happened. Wild, right? The party immediately suspected a smuggling ring. And honestly, knowing Waterdeep, those deep submerged tunnels, they almost certainly connect straight down to Skullport. You know, that notorious, lawless, subterranean city right beneath Waterdeep. So suddenly, this relaxing spa pool is looking a whole lot like a major criminal highway.
But the real paranoia doesn't set in until like 2 in the morning. Out of nowhere, every single light in the Blushing Mermaid just goes pitch black. The masked staff start eerily moving through the dark halls, holding these ghostly little lights. And while most of the guests are just confused, Shane starts hearing something super unsettling. It's this scampering, like movement right behind the wooden panels of his room's walls.
So, what exactly does a cautious rogue do in this situation? Well, Shane methodically moves every piece of furniture, checks behind every single painting, and boom, he pops free a false wall panel. And behind it, it's a massive, hidden network of secret, narrow corridors and ascending stairs running behind almost every guest room in the entire inn, which means someone could have been watching their every move this whole time. Naturally, he decides he has to alert the group, so he creeps through this creepy spy corridor all the way to Wagner Frieder's room to warn her about this massive conspiracy. And how does Wagner Frieder, the party's totally pragmatic powerhouse, respond to being woken up at 3 a.m. by a rogue literally crawling out of her wall? With this absolute gem. Go back to fucking bed. I mean, it is just such a brilliantly deadpan response to a genuinely terrifying discovery, but you know, by the next morning, the whole party's looped in, and they all agree it's probably best to keep their valuables very, very close from now on. Section 2. Diadems and the Durnenbolds, seeking answers among the elite. So, after surviving their heavily spy-infested hotel, the party pivots to a high society investigation. They head up to the North Ward to visit the Durnenbold Villa. They're hoping to return a stolen family heirloom and, you know, maybe get some answers about that recent bombing at the docks. Returning the stolen diadem actually earns them a pretty handsome reward of platinum from the grieving family, but way more importantly, it gives them a crucial piece of our puzzle. Valerina Durnenbold reveals a pattern of harassment. The 99, that explosive anti-wealth populist group responsible for the dock bombing, they aren't just striking out at random rich people. They are specifically targeting the extraordinarily wealthy Castellanter family. Section 3. The Seven Masks Theater, a legendary unmasking. Following the breadcrumbs of this whole conspiracy, the party heads to the theater. There, they're given a tour by what seems to be just a perfectly ordinary, completely harmless old man. But Valessa, being the ever-skeptical person she is, decides to take a slightly closer look at their guide. She casually casts Detect Magic mid-tour, and suddenly, the harmless old guide is blazing with incredibly powerful illusion magic. Caught completely red-handed, the guide just drops his disguise and offers this theatrical, deep bow. And guys, no way. It is none other than the legendary drow mercenary and mastermind himself, Jarlaxle Banray. I mean, Valessa systematically dismantling this legendary figure's entire secret identity on a casual afternoon theater tour. Absolutely incredible. And this brilliantly illustrates just how deep this rabbit hole really goes. Because after a really tense exchange, Jarlaxle actually confirms what the Durnbolds were saying. the 99 is completely fixated on the Castellanters. But then he drops a massive historical clue. About 10 years ago, the Castellanters were on the absolute brink of total financial ruin. Then, out of nowhere, they recovered their immense wealth with impossible speed. And now, present day, they are the prime target of a highly violent populist group. Makes you think, right?
Section 4. Gambling with a 99. Shane's intelligence gathering. So, while the rest of the group is busy unmasking drow legends and chatting with Professor Decarios at the Blackstaff Academy, let's check in on Shane. He decides to spend his afternoon over at a local gambling hall. He plays it totally cool, blending in, keeping his bets low, keeping his ears wide open. And honestly, he hits the absolute intelligence jackpot. He overhears actual members of the 99 talking. He learns 3 absolutely vital things. First, this 99 cell is led by 2 unknown but clearly extremely wealthy figures at the top. Second, the members are literally gambling away money provided by the 99 itself, meaning someone with incredibly deep pockets is bankrolling this entire terrorist cell. And third, and this is just the perfect narrative loop here, a major meeting with their boss is scheduled later this week at the Blushing Mermaid. Yes, the exact same inn where our story started today, complete with smuggling pools and creepy spy walls.
Section 5. The Castellanter Dinner. A tense evening of thin answers. Okay, so we know the 99 is backed by massive wealth. And we know they're actively hunting the Castellanters. To get to the bottom of this, the party manages to arrange a highly anticipated meeting with the family themselves. It's this very polite dinner gathering full of high society smiles, but underneath, the tension is thick. It's incredibly uncomfortable. And then, a major red flag pops up right during dessert. Amalia Castellanter, who had been maintaining this super polished, slightly sour demeanor all evening, suddenly breaks character. When the topic of Chantal's warlock patron comes up, Amalia shows an intense, very pointed curiosity about whether the pact is infernal in nature. I mean, ask yourself, why would one of the wealthiest nobles in all of Waterdeep care so much about demonic bargains? It immediately raises some really deep suspicions about what kind of dealings the Castellanters might have going on themselves. And then we get to the chilling finale of the evening. Remember the Osvaldo Memorial Fund, the one that was bankrolling the 99's explosives? Well, Osvaldo is the Castellanter's eldest son. Supposedly, he's alive, well, and just studying abroad. Valessa decides she's going to test this theory. She uses her sending magic to telepathically contact Osvaldo directly. The result? Absolute silence. The spell just fails. He isn't out there studying. Honestly, he might not be anywhere at all. Let's move to these pieces and see how this builds, because the escalation here is honestly terrifying. Let's recap. 10 years ago, the Castellanters faced total financial ruin. Then, boom, an impossible, sudden recovery of their wealth. Now, they are the specific target of the 99, a group being funded by an account named after their mysteriously unreachable son. And tonight, Amalia just happens to reveal a total hyperfixation on infernal pacts. So what does this all mean? We are clearly no longer just looking at a political bombing. We are looking at a very dark, decade-old secret. What horrific bargain did the Castellanters strike to magically regain their fortune? Where exactly is Osvaldo? And are the wealthy leaders of the 99 finally coming to collect on a massive debt? The pieces are all on the board right now, and that big meeting at the Blushing Mermaid is ticking closer. That wraps up our explainer for this session. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I will see you next time as we keep unraveling this incredible mystery.